Hello, folks. Good evening.
Good evening, teacher. Good evening.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm sick, but I'm here.
So tired, so tired.
Yeah, because of work,
The
right?
weather. Under the weather.
Okay, folks. Welcome to the session number 4 in elaboración de materiales educativos, right? So in this session, folks, we're gonna discuss the ESP, right? So ESP materials. So we're gonna see a little introduction about what ESP is, the materials development, some key aspects in ESP materials design, and the process that we're gonna do of designing ESP materials, okay? Let's see, the objectives in this session, folks, is to highlight the importance of ESP materials and recognize the process of designing ESP materials and identify which are those processes, right? So we're gonna start with a simple question that I would like to listen to all of you. What do you think about this? Because I'm pretty sure that this is not new for you. What is English for a specific purpose? What
Can
is,
I give my opinion? Can I give my opinion?
of course.
It is when the English is focused on something specific, for example, a specialty or a how can I tell you this? Uh, uh maybe a doctor or a teacher. How can I say this? Profession. When we are
Okay.
talking, yes, a profession, your English is focused on your profession. If you are a doctor, you have to learn vocabulary or something like that, addressed to a doctor or addressed to a teacher, focus on strategies. It's depending of your profession. Something like that, I think so.
Okay, good. What about
Okay.
the rest? Do you agree with her?
I would say yes, teacher. I do agree.
Yeah.
Because if, let's say if all companies now that have the experience of being working in different type of companies, uh, we use the language, but in certain mode, we have our own specific, let's say, type of speaking, and the purpose is not the same. It's not the same to be, for example, working using vocabulary, banking vocabulary, or let's say for teaching. That you are really a specialist in what you do when it comes to teaching. But when it comes to accounting things and things like that, you must be related or study about it, because the vocabulary will be totally different. And it's the same when it comes to you become an interpreter. It's the different type of languages. If it's, for example, for Bible or for medical appointments, the vocabulary and the English is totally different.
Yeah. The last opinion about this one?
Also, teacher, when we talk about English for a specific purpose, if when we want to when we want to learn about something specific, for example, if we want to learn English only for translation or only interpreter, and this is my opinion, and according the opinion of Glass and Beverly, it's something, it's a little bit that we can use it, the English with
Okay,
a
yeah.
purpose.
Yeah, good.
And this is my opinion. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're right. You're right, folks. Thank you for participating. And according to Hutchinson and Alan Waiters in 1986, says that the English for a specific purpose is teaching which has specified objectives, okay? And I would say, folks, that ESP is a subset of English as a second or foreign language, right? And it is usually refers to teaching the English language to university students or people already in employment with reference to the particular vocabulary and skills they need. As you said before, that ESP is must be focused on the profession, as Beverly said, right? Because if you're teaching, if you're studying for being a doctor, so I'm not going to teach you vocabulary for engineering, right? So it's different, right? So we need to know the students' need and then to look for the right terms that we're gonna use for teaching to the students. Okay, very good. Now let's see another question. What is materials development? A ver, los que no participaron.
Material development.
If nobody has a opinion, may I have my opinion?
Okay, go ahead.
May I give? Materials development. I think that is something related with process. Maybe with process.
Good. You have said a keyword, process. Okay, good.
Yes, it's a process. It's during our, maybe our planning. If we want to plan in a class,
Must
it's
be
a
included
process.
there,
I
right?
don't know. Like something like that. I don't know. It's related.
Yeah, when you make a plan, the materials development must be included there, right?
Yeah. During the process, maybe some activities or I don't know, things like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Another opinion, folks? What about Durbin? What about Kaylin Sandino? Caroline? Hello? Let's see how many students are connected.
Teacher material development refer to both a field of study and a practical process involved in designing, implementing, and evaluating language teaching materials.
Right. Okay, thank you, folks, for your opinion. And let's see, according to Baskerman and Bocanegra Valle in 2018 says that materials development is a typical feature of ESP courses, mainly because of the attempt to offer teaching materials which fit a specific subject area, right? As you were mentioning before, and a specific needs of a certain group of students, okay? I would say, folks, that materials development could be the study and practice of development materials for the teaching of language, right? Including the principles, because remember that we have some principles, and as Beverly says, the processes of designing those materials, implementing and evaluating the materials at the end. Remember that one of the principles to be validated those materials that you develop is the evaluation of those materials. But who's gonna be the evaluator for these materials? The students, okay? So you will see at the end that if the class or if the materials that you were using are provided meaningful learning, so the material was the right one that you chose, right? Let's continue. Let's see some aspects that we have in ESP materials design. Let's see the first one. The first one we have materials writing is most effective when it is based on thorough thorough understanding of the needs of a particular groups of students. What do you think about this, folks?
I think I know that nobody will give their opinions, maybe, or I don't know. But in my opinion, always the material has to be interesting for the students in
Yeah,
order to engage them. You
and
know, if
innovative
you
as well, right?
yes, innovative, and I know a word that we learned about it that was um has to be, I don't remember the word, but must engage. Is the word like that?
Yeah.
The students in order that they can learn better and will be more attractive for them and interesting for them to learn. No bored, no like something normal that they have to read. Because I think that something bored is to read and to read and to read without sense, maybe nothing interesting, nothing that could catch our attention as students. So I think that always must be interesting and about the topic, not out of the topic.
Yeah.
My opinion. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Berlin.
Sure.
You're being
Teacher,
so talkative today. That's good.
teacher, my opinion is about this.
Yeah.
And in this paragraph, we have the word needs. When we talk about needs, is when the student don't understand something, and we can reinforce this in the writing. For example, if they have some weakness with, for example, in grammar, verb be, and we have to practice with them because this is a necessity. And we talk in this paragraph, we have the understanding of the needs of particular group of students, and the group have this this necessity we have to include in the writing. And this is my opinion about this a little paragraph.
Right. Yeah, you're right, folks. When you say that these principles is based on the student's need, that's right, especially when it is focused on their specific language difficulties, right? In the learning objectives, because remember that we have learning objectives and teaching objectives, right? So, and we need to be clear what an objective is and the preferred learning styles. Why learning styles? Because remember, folks, that not all the students have the same learning style, right? Some of them learn quickly, some others learn very slow, right? But at the end, the objective stated by the teacher must be achieved by the learning styles on students. Very good. Let's see the second one. Teachers know and understand their students best. What do you think?
That sometimes, not always. There are teachers
How
that they
so?
are so bored and they never understand the students.
Who
Just
never
give the
understand the
classes.
students? The teacher?
What?
What? You say that they never understand the students. The teacher, you're talking about the teacher,
Sometimes,
right?
sometimes the teachers don't understand the students. Why?
Okay.
Because they are always focused on give their class, know that the students could learn, they are in front of their students and they are explaining a topic, or maybe read this paragraph or read this document or something like that, but they
That
don't
is a sign for me.
explain. Ah,
That is a sign for me.
maybe, I don't know.
Ah, good to
Maybe.
understand the signs. Okay.
No, I didn't say their name, so but yeah, there are a lot of teachers that do this. Not exactly you, but there are so a lot of teachers that have this problem. And So am I, maybe sometimes, because we are always like, here you are, this document, please do a resume or do this. In my case, my personal opinion, my style, the most of the time is practice. Is the practice.
Yeah.
Talk to someone or repeat something or make me do a role play, something like that, something representative about some topics, but
I'm
not
gonna,
exactly read.
okay, good. I'm gonna build a question taking into account that principles, and I would like to listen to the rest of the student. Folks, how do you think, or in what way do you think that the teachers will know and understand a student? In what moment? Hello?
I won't say anything else because you tell me that I have to be quiet.
I haven't said that.
Let her speak. Let her speak.
Blas, you will give your opinion.
Yes, I would. So I would say teacher, when it comes to that, a teacher can realize about uh, or yes, will realize about how his student is able to learn fastly or in different way. Could be by at the moment to have them uh, to expose uh, some topics, or when, for example, the student that the teacher knows that he would prefer to talk about certain topics that maybe can be included in the next class, let's say, yeah, that would be imparted. That way, I think that this the student can feel like more comfortable and understood by the teacher if the teacher is able to, I mean, is able to bring certain topics about what the kid wants to learn, but it must be most about communication between teachers and students, because sometimes it is noticeable how some people are able to learn by using visual aids. We have been able to discover that based on our experience. Uh, but also with communication, I think is really important between both.
Okay, thank you very much, Blas. Let's continue with another principles. Teachers need a grounding. Hello, Ismail. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, good. Ismail, what do you think about these principles, these aspects? Teachers need a grounding.
Grounding. What is grounding? What is that?
Good question.
Is it um like a punishment?
Not exactly. Grounding is an abstract noun, okay, that refers to the collaborative learning tasks that involves interaction between the students and teachers, right?
Okay, now I get it. Sorry, it's because I was thinking about getting grounded, which is like
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
punished.
it can be used in that way, but not in this context, okay? That's another context.
Okay, so I think that that's something that we can try at the beginning of a course or of a lesson to get to know the students. So then we get to know what is it, like kind of like diagnosing what do they know, what is it that they don't, how do they feel most comfortable with,
Yeah,
um,
good.
or what technique do they feel comfortable with, or in general if they feel comfortable with me being a teacher. Um, so I would say that's something that we need at the beginning of the course so the teacher can get to know the students better. And adding up a little bit about the previous one about teachers getting to know and understand the students.
Yeah,
That is something that as well needs to go hand in hand with needing a grounding or getting to know the students.
Yeah, good. Something important that you mentioned there, it's to understand to the students, right? So the idea is when we mention grounding is when the teachers need to maintain some degree of mutual understanding, okay, to the student. Yeah, you're right. Good. Let's move on to the next one. What do you think about this? Trialing and evaluation are vital to the success of any materials.
I have a question. What is trialing?
Good question.
I don't know what is that. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Can you hear me?
It's- yeah,
No,
we
yeah.
do. I was actually gonna say that trialing for me is like giving a try, like like trying to get to know if something works or not. Like trying the phone for the first time or trying the new computer that I bought for the first time to see if it actually works.
Yeah.
Like a
So
test.
yeah, like testing, like giving a
Test.
try if it actually works. That
Oh.
goes like, as I was saying, that goes with grounding as well, I believe, because if you go into a certain level of understandability to students, you have to try first if they actually understand you. That's the first thing. So I would say that um, at the beginning of a lesson or course, if it's going to take longer, we need to try first with them. I mean, how are our techniques going to work with them, and evaluating if the way that we taught them actually worked and they learned something or not.
Yeah, that's right. In teaching, folks, trial is when you prepare a full lesson about something, right? Especially when you want to discuss the student learning goals, something important that you consider that must be discussed with the students. And according to and regarding to that discussion to create a plan of an action for a future lessons. Okay, so when you prepare the students, for example, let's see something. Imagine that today we're talking about technical words about medicine, because tomorrow I have a reading comprehension, a very advanced vocabulary, but probably you won't understand the terms. So I need to introduce the terms first. We need to discuss the meaning of that, and then the reading comprehension can be much easier for them, right? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on, folks. Let's see something important here, that this is, be careful with this one because the homework is related to this, okay? Here we have the structure of a typical ESP unit. Why units? Because there are many aspects that we need to include, okay? So let's see the first one is the unit analysis, okay? I put one because we have many, okay? But I'm gonna explain to you just the first. So in the unit analysis, folks, you need to describe the level, okay, of the English that you're gonna use or that you want to achieve. So the skills that you're gonna use, and the course will be designed for whom, okay? Let's see an example. In the unit analysis, folks, according to this example that I'm gonna telling you, it is designed for waiters, right? In a restaurant with basic level course, and the skills is oral communications, okay? But for this, we need objectives. I said you need objectives because this is general, okay, for the whole activity that we're gonna do. I would like to know that if you understand what an objective is.
The objective teacher is one the purpose about the topic or the unit.
Okay, good. Can we say that objectives can be instructional? Are they instructional?
Yes, because they guide us to stick or to attach to what our goals are. Because like the goal is more general, but the objective is very specific and it tells us what should we expect from students to learn and how are going to be instructed to deliver the class as well.
Okay, good. Do you think, folks, that objectives can be measurable? Ismael said that they are instructional, and he provided some good, very detailed. That's good. But do you think that objectives can be measurable as well? Or
Can
they
be
I
can
think
be
measured,
observable? Yeah. Did you hear me?
can be, yeah, teacher. Can you repeat the question, please?
If you consider that objectives can be measurable and observable.
It's depend that we want to evaluate, it's my opinion,
Yeah.
because because if you want to evaluate just one a skill, I don't remember the word. Okay, you can observe if the student can apply these skills according to the objective.
Okay, good.
I say yes,
Yeah.
because if the objectives are they are measurable, because when we write down like a learning objective, we have to be specific. What is the skill that we are going to be evaluating, or what the skill is going to be the one that's going to be performing, the students are going to learn. It reminds me of the SMART process, specific, measurable, and I remember the other ones. Realistic, and I don't know if you know them, teacher.
Yeah, especially folks, they are measurable because remember that at the end of the course, you need to evaluate to the students, right, to get a grade, right?
Yeah.
So
If we're gonna focus like in writing, we
yeah,
have to be specific in the objective, saying that the students are gonna learn how to write, like let's say an essay. If we're gonna focusing on like college students, they're gonna learn how to write an essay about this and this and this, applying the grammar that we learn or applying the vocabulary that we learn. So then when we go back to our objective, when we are preparing the test, we get to know what is it that they should have learned, and we test them that way, because the objective cannot be only like students will be able to apply writing skills, but how, what writing skills, in what way.
right, right. I don't know if all of you knows that the educational systems that we have in Nicaragua, MINED, so they are using three types of objectives, right? They are using the conceptual objectives, procedure objective, and aptitudinal objectives, right?
exactly. And attitudinal must be at least one time. use. O sea, lo tienen que
Yeah,
usar casi una vez.
when we say aptitudinal, it's related to the student's behavior, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, or
Always.
how the student acts in the
Yeah.
classrooms.
If they are interested or maybe they are not.
Yeah, the procedimental is when you see how the students apply the knowledge learned, okay? So you give some instructions and a student have to apply the knowledge on that activity, how they develop an activity, right? Now, let's see another aspect, folks, because of the time that time is passing by, okay? And it is the starter. A starter, folks, here is a technique word because the meaning is not the same meaning that you got on your mind, right? So when we say a starter here, it refers that if you're gonna use a text or a comic strip, a set of pictures, probably if you want to talk about the daily routines, you're gonna use flashcards, okay? That's gonna be the starter of your activity. Or even it can be an audio if you're gonna work with listening and a video, right? So in this example, folks, as I told you before, that this course that I'm explaining to you is designed for waiters, right? In a cafeteria, in a restaurant, okay? So the starter is a video. Why a video, folks? What was the level? Who remember what was the level for this activity? I told you at the beginning. Who remember?
Beginner.
Yes, a basic level, right? Beginners. So in the starter, I would use a video, okay? A video that shows to the students the conversation between a waiter and customers, okay? To be adapted to the words, keywords that they use, okay? Then, folks, we have the task. In the task, you need to be careful of the description, okay? And according to this one, two tasks are designed, okay? The first one, folks, is focuses on word orders, right? In sentences and questions, and learning rearrange the words. That is the first task. So if I told you that the starters is the video related to a conversation between a waiter and customers, then I can provide to the students the word that probably appeared on the video, like help, I, can, how, you, and the instruction is to rearrange, to order the words to build sentences or questions. And according to these words, folks, what would you build? A sentence or a question? If we have help, I, you, how, can. Hello.
Teacher, can you repeat, please?
So if we have the verb help, I, you, how, can, and even hello.
It's a question.
It's a question.
Yeah, what would it be the question?
How can I help you?
Yes, how can I help you, right? And my question is, do you think that this question is related to the video? Are they connected with the instruction that was given at the beginning?
Yes, because it's the conversation between the waitress and her customer.
Right, and that's a very common questions, right? That can be used in a restaurant, right? And even I think that is so common in call centers as well, right?
Yeah. This common question at the beginning of the call.
Okay, good. And the second activity, folks, is that the students or learners slot the reordered sentences into the different functional categories, right? So in that case, I would like to know that if a student know the function word for each word that was given in the previous activity. You understand what I mean?
Can you repeat that?
So the first one was to order the word, right? To build a sentence or a question. The second activity, learners slot the reordered sentences or question, that in this case is a question, into different functional categories. So you can use some small boxes to provide the categories, right? So what do you think can be the first category?
The first category is question and answer. No. Or, and I.
Yeah, question and
know.
answers, right? Because
Okay.
if we have a question,
We
we
have
have an answer, right?
Yeah.
I would say that the category there is taking orders, right? So you ask to the customer, how can I help you? Expecting that the customer ordered something, right?
Yes. But the second.
Yeah. Mention another category.
Yes.